Geronimo by Shepherd. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow. Fun little story for you. I just had an absolutely chaotic moment in here. I was just trying to I was just had lots going on for a moment there, and I missed my cue. It's just morally wrong. Yes, fun little story for you. There was a married couple that had been out shopping for most of the day, and suddenly the wife realised that her husband had disappeared. She was getting quite annoyed, looking around, and ended up calling her husband's mobile, asking, "Where are you?" And her husband responded, "Darling, do you remember that little jewellery shop where you saw that beautiful diamond necklace and totally fell in love with it, but I didn't have the money at the time and I said it would be yours one day?" She said, "Yeah, I remember that." He said, "Well, I'm in a pub next to it. I am going to throw on a few more tunes and try to get myself organised, ready for the next 2 hours. 2 hours. So stick around and we're going to have some Firework by Katy Perry." Turn Down for What by DJ Snake and Lil Jon. Before that, we had Firework by Katy Perry. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow. And today is the 31st of December, the 365th day of the year, which means there's just not even one day left until the end of the year, and only 366 days left until Christmas. We are on the verge of a new year, a new month named after the Roman god Janus, which is an appropriate personification for the start of the new year, I think. This particular Roman god had two faces so that he could look ahead towards the future and back at the past at the same time. And as we get rid of an old year and look forward to a new one, we all try to be just a little bit like Janus. We know through experience what we did wrong and what we did right, and we hope to do better in the next year. Some people make ambitious New Year's resolutions, others just take a deep breath and hope for the best. And some say it's just another day, an occasion that has very little impact on them. So, I mean, I guess to some extent, this could be considered true. It could be considered just another day. Some people see the new year as an opportunity to make a new start, new goals, new directions, new ambitions, new chapters, and potentially new lives. But there is something to be said about the concept of just another day. You see, each and every single one of us are free to make new goals, new directions, new ambitions at any time of any given day. There are 365 days in a year. There is 365 opportunities to do something different, and yet we nearly always settle for just picking the first one to make that resolution. But what if we were to all start making new resolutions, new promises, new goals, and new directions whenever we felt like it? Like the 13th of April, or the 2nd of July, or the middle of August. What if we just woke up some random day and said, I don't feel satisfied, let's try something different? I know it's often quite easy to find yourself bogged down by everyday living, and you know, as you're rolling on through the year, sometimes just coping is enough to sort of take up most of your time, and you can often feel like the last thing you need right now is change. Yeah, that's something I hear quite often. The last thing I need right now is change. You've found that routine, it's working, so sort of just maintain that and get on with it, kind of thing. I can understand that very, very well, believe me. So if the first and only moment you get to sit down and think about what you'd like to do next just happens to be for the start of the new year, take it, hold it, and do it. This is your life, and you're pretty much free to live it your way. Indeedy.
Blame on me. Don't put your blame on me.
Human by Rag and Bone Man. Before that, we were listening to Sail by AWOL Nation, and I slipped in Pretty Fly for a White Guy by The Offspring. I might have forgotten to mention that it's New Year's Eve, so I'm going to mix the music up a little bit today. I've got some crackers mashed in with some smashers, and it's going to be a wild one. It is going to be a wild one. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow, and A woman by the name of Jemima was taking an afternoon nap on New Year's Eve before the festivities began, and after she woke up, she said to her husband, "I just had a dream that you gave me a diamond ring for a New Year's present. What do you think that means?" And her husband grinned and said, "You'll know tonight. You'll know tonight." At midnight, as the new year was chiming, her husband approached her and handed her a small package. She got overexcited, very delightedly opened it up as quick as she could, and there in her hand rested a book entitled The Meaning of Dreams. Now, the new year brings much more than the promise of new starts. It also brings new movies, new music, and loads and loads of other things. And oh my gosh, there are some epic movies being released in 2018, and I am going to be sharing a few of my favourites, because we have Avengers Infinity War, which is based on the Marvel comics and produced by Marvel Studios. It's the 19th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it is due to be released sometime in May of 2018. We have Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, the sequel to Jurassic World in 2015, and the 5th instalment of the Jurassic Park film series. This is due to be released somewhere between June and July. Solo, a Star Wars story. Oh yeah. This is an upcoming space western film centered on Han Solo, a character from the Star Wars franchise, and it's being produced by Lucasfilm, and it will be the second Star Wars anthology film following the 2016 film Rogue One. This is due to be released at the end of May. We also have Insidious, The Last Key. For people who like a little bit of scary stuff, it's a supernatural horror film, the 4th installment in the Insidious franchise, and the second in terms of the series in story chronology following the 2015's Insidious Chapter 3. This is due to be released sometime in January. I was really hoping that would sort of creep in there somewhere near a Halloween, but I could wait about 8 months to watch it, couldn't I? 8, May, August, September, October. Okay, 10 months. I could wait. I'm not sure I could wait 10 months to be watching Insidious: The Last Key. The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Yes, sirree. And it's a fantasy film and a live-action adaptation of The Nutcracker and the Mouse King, and Tchaikovsky. Every week there has to be one word that trips me up. Every week. Tchaikovsky's ballet, the Nutcracker. It's The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Let's do this again. Fantasy film, live-action adaptation of The Nutcracker and the Mouse King and Tchaikovsky's ballet, The Nutcracker. Yes, I did it! This is scheduled to be released by Walt Disney Pictures in November 2018. We have The Incredibles 2. Yes, The Incredibles 2. The 3D computer animated superhero film. It's the direct sequel of the 2004 film The Incredibles. Finally, 14 years later, the film is scheduled to be released in June 2018. And I'm going to take a few. I'm going to take a few songs. I'm going to take a few musics. I'm going to take a few musics and see if I can learn a music. It's getting worse. See if I can learn how to string a sentence together. Like I said, I'm planning on mixing this up. This is going to be an interesting link. Have fun. Stay tuned to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. This one is for you. Rockstar by Nickelback. Before that, we were listening to Vindaloo by Fat Les and Umbrella by the Baseballs. You are listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow. It is New Year's Eve. And in the last link, I was sharing a few movies that are going to be released throughout 2018. But my gosh, I have a lot more, because there's a lot more coming out. And I'm going to share a lot more of them with you right now. We have Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, the romantic musical comedy film, and a sequel to the 2008 film Mamma Mia, which is based on the musical. It's scheduled to be released on July the 20th, 2018, within a few days of the 10th anniversary of its original release. A Star is Born, a musical romantic drama, and one of 3 remakes of the 1937 film A Star is Born. The first remake was in 1954, and that was starring Julie Garden. Judy Garland. This is going to be a fun show. The second was released in 1976, starring Barbara Streisand, and this remake, starring Lady Gaga, among others, is due to be released in October 2018. Another film that's coming out next year is Tomb Raider, the action-adventure film based on the 2013 video game by Crystal Dynamics, and it will be a reboot of the Tomb Raider film series. The film is scheduled to be released in 3D and IMAX in March 2018. Ocean's 8. Now, this one's got people asking a few questions, actually. Ocean's 8 is a heist comedy film. It's both a sequel to and an all-female soft reboot of the Ocean's trilogy and a spin-off of Ocean's 11. It's due to be released in June 2018, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the results. But I'm also looking forward to seeing Mary Poppins Returns, also known as Mary Poppins 2, the musical fantasy. It's the sequel to the 1964 film Mary Poppins. It's set 25 years after the 1964 film, and it will feature Mary Poppins, the former nanny of James and Michael Banks. It'll be revisiting them after a family tragedy. The film is scheduled for release on December the 25th, 2018. It's scheduled for release on Christmas Day, and it's this is giving it one of the longest gaps between the film's sequels in history at 54 years later. Impressive. The Predator science fiction action thingy. It's the fourth installment of the Predator film series. It's set to take place between Predator 2 and Predators, which was 2010. And it completed filming in June this year, and it's set to be released in August 2018. We also have Rampage. Now, Rampage was one of my favourite childhood games. I had it on the ZX Spectrum, I had it on the Master System, I had it on the Mega Drive, I had it on the PC, I had it on the PlayStation 2, and this is going to be a science fiction monster film. It's loosely based on the video game series by Midway Games. It's starring Dwayne Johnson. And the film is due to be released in April 2018 in 3D and IMAX. And my golly gosh, am I looking forward to this. I know it's going to have very little resemblance to the game, but I'm still excited just because it has something to do with it in some remote way, shape or form. Also coming out next year is Peter Rabbit, the 3D live-action / CGI animated adventure comedy. It's based on the stories of the character Peter Rabbit, which was created by Beatrix Potter, and it's due to be released in February next year. This could be interesting. Talk about a revival. Fascinating. Last thing on my list, before I've put on a bit more music, is The Meg, the science fiction action horror film based on the 1997 science fiction book called Meg, a novel of deep terror by Steve Alton. It's due to be released in August 2018. I am really looking forward to this. This is a huge list of potentially groundbreaking movies, but also potential disasters. This should be really interesting. It's going to be a fascinating year for movies, but it's also going to be a fascinating year for music, and I'll be sharing some of that after I've finished sharing some of this.
103.2 FM, Insanity Radio.
Chandelier by Sire. Before that, we had Shape of You by Ed Sheeran and Blue by Eiffel 65. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow. It is New Year's Eve. Rockin'. Earlier in the show, I was talking about some of the movies that are going to be released in 2018, but there are also some albums and singles and music and thingies that are going to be getting released, especially in the first part of the year. I'm not quite sure what's happening later in the year, but I have fished out some things that are going to be happening in the first quarter. We have on January the 12th, the album Wrong Creatures will be released by Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Camila Cabello is releasing the album Camila on January the 12th, and Megan Patrick is releasing Country Music Made Me Do It, another album on the 12th of January. On the 19th of January, we'll see the release of Fall Out Boy's Mania album. January the 26th, we'll see the release of Craig David's The Time Is Now. In February, I don't have exact dates for February, but we will see the released albums from Rich Chigga, Saxon, the Atlas Moth, Vance Joy, and the Cowboy Junkies. March brings a release of albums by Moby, Callum Scott, Fickle Friends, and Exodus. In April, we have the Manic Street Preachers, Godsmack, and Shinedown. Echo and the Bunnymen release their album The Stars, the Oceans, and the Moon in May. And oh wow, some currently unscheduled album releases include the Arctic Monkeys, Avril Lavigne, Bastille, Blanche, Celine Dion, Charlie XCX, Jack White, Kylie Minogue, Lita Ford, Megadeth, The Offspring, Ozzy Osbourne, and Tony Braxton. Oh wow! Also, Justin Timberlake, Nicki Minaj, and Rita Ora. This is a lot of albums that are going to be singles. We also have some singles coming out, and this one should be interesting. We have Choose Your Fate by Max Koffler, which is being released tomorrow on Spotify. After a 3-year break, Cheryl has registered a new track titled That's My Song, and it's rumoured that we can expect to see much more of her throughout the rest of 2018. Also, on the topic of comebacks, Aaron Carter, after a 15-year break, coming back at the age of 30, is making a solid comeback. Now, I've been rummaging around and I can't find as much details as I hoped I would, but Aaron Carter is releasing a few singles and potentially an album sometime in 2018 after a 15-year break. Also, 12-inch vinyls, because yes, I am still hearing to this very day, people are saying to me, did you know that vinyls are making a comeback? Yeah, trust me, I know. They've been making a comeback for quite some time now. I think it's fair to say they have in fact already come back. It's good to assume that. 12-inch vinyls to look forward to in the new year include Stranger Things and Stranger Things 2 soundtrack from the Netflix series, the singles Underworld by Tonight Alive, Ruins by The First Aid Kit, Melodrama by Lorde, Mania by Fall Out Boy, Younger Now by Miley Cyrus, Ixnay on the Hombre by The Offspring, Beautiful People Will Ruin Your Life by the Wombats, Both Sides of the Sky by Jimi Hendrix, all of which, and many more, are being released in the first half of next year. Also, you can pre-order any and all of these right now on HMV. And I'm just going to go ahead. All this talk about music has got me wanting to play some music, so let's throw on... Oh, I like this one. I haven't played this for a while now. Awesome.
Me smile.
Smile by Uncle Cracker. Before that, we had You Gotta Be by Des'ree and Dare You to Move by Switchfoot. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. There have been some smashing songs I've been playing today. I absolutely love some of these. Songs like Chandelier by Sire and Smile by Uncle Cracker, and Dare You to Move. Dare You to Move. I'm just stood here in the studio singing away, squealing, just destroying my throat. And it's good times. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow. Today is New Year's Eve, the 31st of December, and tomorrow, January the 1st, 2018, is a Monday. This means not only is it a fresh year, not only is it a fresh month, but it's also a fresh week. If you ever wanted to make a fresh start, you couldn't possibly find a better time to do it. It's like the ultimate incentive. And if I'm not mistaken, the next fresh year, fresh month, fresh week is not going to be until 2024, 6 years from now. So make the most of this one, because there won't be another Monday the 1st of January for another 6 years. Now, shout out to the Pack Horse on Egham Hill. They still have some tickets left for the New Year's do later tonight. From 9 p.m, there will be live acoustic music. There will be canapes. There There will be a bottomless Prosecco and a free glass of bubbly at midnight. The party goes on until 1 o'clock in the morning, and all that for just £30. If you're after a less boozy New Year's Eve, there are non-alcoholic beverage alternatives, and these tickets are just £20 each. It's not too late to nip into the Pack Horse and grab your tickets now. If you want more information, you can check out the link su.rhul.ac.uk/thepackhorse/NYE, because they like to make it easy. Or you can find the events on su.rhul.ac.uk/events, which is almost nearly a little bit easier. It doesn't have as many forward slashes, at least. It's amazing how we still haven't come up with. I would love to come up with some kind of technology, because when you're on the PC, when you're on the phone, when you're on a smartphone, laptop, Chromebook, whatever, if somebody wants to present a link to you, they can say, here, just click this, you're there. But you still can't do that on the radio. You still can't. It's making me curious, because we have the QR codes, we have the barcode scanners, we have all of these things that you can use to scan an image of something and it will take you to a website. We have the links themselves that you can type into the address bar. Maybe one day we will come up with some sort of audio recognition thing, we could almost go back. This is actually easily possible, going back to the days of the modem and the ZX Spectrum and the audio they used to use on the tapes. We could create audio sounds that would take us to a link. You could be sat here and I could say, if you want to find out more, just hit record on your phone, and it'll go and it will just take you to the site. You won't have to learn su.rhul.ac.uk/thepackhorse/NYE. You could just hit record. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be amazing. Speaking of hitting record, I am going to play some Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. I have an interesting story to share with you after this, so stick around to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. Stay tuned.
Insanity Radio.
Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House. Before that, we were listening to Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield and Daydreamin' Blue by iMonster. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow. It is New Year's Eve. And earlier in the show, in the last link, I said I had a fascinating story I wanted to share, and I'm going to do that right now. I want to take the opportunity to give a huge shout out to Meg Walker. Last year, Meg did a 36-hour radio marathon to raise funds and awareness for Click Sergeants, the UK's leading cancer charity for children. Meg's friend, Rob Harris, was diagnosed with testicular cancer and passed away in November 2014, I believe, and his family were supported by Click Sergeants. Also in April this year, Meg found her way into the Guinness Book of Records during the London Marathon after achieving the fastest marathon time in a 5-person costume, again in support of Click Sergeant. And during this marathon, she also passed her 1,000-mile-a-year goal, which she actually managed to achieve within about 6 months, I think. That's right. Meg Walker ran over 1,000 miles within 6 months. That is just wow. And on Tuesday, the 2nd of January, in just 3 days from now, Meg will be starting a 40-hour radio marathon, hopefully beating her previous record of 36 hours. Again, in support of Click Sergeant, Meg will be right here in the studio from 10 p.m. on Tuesday night, right through until 2 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. And if you want to get involved, any support you could offer would be absolutely fantastic. Tuning into the show and tweeting in words of encouragement would be endlessly appreciated, and so would a donation to a Just Giving page, details of which will be shared on Twitter at Insanity Radio and frequently on air throughout the marathon. If you could share the link with friends and family and encourage them to send in a message, make a small donation, or share the Just Giving page with their friends and family, that would be very much appreciated too, and it would go a long, long way to giving Meg the strength and motivation she needs to keep on ticking for 40 straight hours. If you don't use Twitter, you can find Insanity Radio on Facebook by searching Insanity Radio 103.2 FM, or on you can find the Insanity Radio Community Project page, and more information will be shown there, definitely. And maybe if you live in the local area, maybe you could drop in a few drinks, a few snacks, some food, something edible, because 40 hours would be a long time to go. Any and every idea you can come up with to give her the encouragement and support she needs to be doing this would be absolutely fantastic, because this is an amazing thing. Meg is definitely dedicated to the cause, and wow, it's amazing. It's amazing. Just she does radio marathons, London marathons, anything with the word marathon in it. Meg is there, especially if it's in support of Click Sergeant. It's an amazing thing. It's absolutely amazing. It really. I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. Come As You Are by Nirvana. Before that, we were listening to Oceans by Seafret and A Man for All Seasons by Robbie Williams. You were listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow, and it is New Year's Eve. How many times have I said this in the last 2 hours? It is the 31st of December. We are just a few hours away from the 1st of January, the start of a fresh year, a fresh month, a fresh week, a fresh everything. It's good. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be rocking. And oh my gosh, I have covered so many things in the show today. I've been sharing a few fun little short stories. I have been sharing information on the Pack Horse and their New Year's do that's happening later tonight. I have been sharing all of the stories of all of the movies that have been coming out over the period of 2018. I've been sharing all of the singles, and I'm sure there was more. I'm sure there's so much more. I can't even remember anymore. So much has happened since then. It's been absolutely awesome. I think whether you're going out, whether you're staying in, whatever you might be doing for New Year's tonight, whether it's going to be a loud and drunkenly one, or whether it's going to be a quiet, peaceful evening, whether you're going to be sleeping right through it, I just enjoy it. Just make what you can of it, because you won't get another new year until the end of next year, which I'm already looking forward to. I'm already getting tempted to start preparing the 2018 Christmas cards. I'm pondering whether it's worth keeping my decorations up all the year through so I don't have to put them up again next year. But putting them up can be fun. It's been a marvellous Christmas. There's been a lot of fun stories. There's been a lot of fun things going on. It's been absolutely epic. Again, remember, Meg Walker will be doing her 40-hour radio marathon, which is starting on the 2nd of January, just 3 days from now. She will be here from 10 p.m. on Tuesday nights, right the way through until 2 p.m. on Thursday, if I've got my maths right. So, yeah, definitely tune in for as much of that as you can. Send in a few messages, send in a few tweets. There will be more details on the Just Giving page and other parts of the marathon. There will be more information on Twitter at Insanity Radio. Also, don't forget you can email into the studio. If you don't use Facebook, if you don't use Twitter, if you're not much of a social media fan, you can still fall back to emails. You can email into the studio using the email address studio@insanityradio.com. Make a note of that, studio@insanityradio.com, and just enjoy the ride. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fascinating. 40 hours. I don't think I can come up with any words that would describe just how just 40 hours of being in this room, in this studio, just chatting away, playing music, and trying to raise. I mean, it's a noble cause. Click Sergeant, a children's cancer charity, raising awareness and raising funds for that will definitely make it all worthwhile. But wow, 40 hours. 40 hours. Come on. 40. This is I'm going on now. I'm rambling. So I'm going to start saying toodle pip. I'm going to sign out now. I am going to go prepare for my evening. Just in case anybody's curious, I will be at the Pack Horse tonight. I have got myself a ticket for the Pack Horse, so I will be on the Prosecco and I will be drinking responsibly. I will be drinking responsibly because I'm a responsible person. And just whatever you're doing, even if you're going to be quietly reading a book and falling to sleep before the stroke of midnight, just enjoy it. It's going to be a good one. Enjoy your sleep. Yeah, I wonder if you can have enjoyable sleep. You're usually pretty unaware of what's going on when you're sleeping. But anyway, I'm going to tune out. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say goodbye. I am going to say enjoy your new year. You've been listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, let's get ready to rumble.